on the podcast, Grant's Rants Hollywood Talk. It's Grant's Rants Small Talk.
Season 14 gallery and trailer dropped of The Real Housewives of Orange County on July 2nd, 2019. The housewife with the original tagline of, "I don't want to get old," was missing and notably absent. Longtime fans know her as the OG of the OC. Granny June knows her as, quote, the one with the dimples. To react to this and to join me at a candlelight vigil, please welcome a Vicky stan, Christian Snow.
That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said about me, a Vicky stan.
I didn't know how else to describe you in this time.
And honestly, I needed the pick me up today. I really did, following this horrible news.
This whole episode, this bonus episode is all going to be about Vicky and RHOC. So if you're not interested, you can skip. But this is serious.
And there is a lot of Vicky love coming in this podcast. I'm willing to put that little warning out there. I hope that's okay.
Okay, I'm ready. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm right there with you with Vicky. I respect Vicky. Unlike the decision that has been made, I respect her decision as the original of the original of the original. It truly starts with her, and the opening of season 1, when it was just Real Housewives, it started with Vicky.
It really did. And I mean, I think back to, what was it, that 100th episode special that they did, where they kind of go back and talk about how they all filmed, their individual journeys into the show, and how when she was originally approached, she was kind of hell no, I'm not into this. And then they kind of perused her a little bit more, and then they got her on camera, and look, it was iconic. Yeah. Look, here we are 14 years later.
Love it.
Yeah.
So where were you when you heard the news that she's officially not going to be a full-time housewife in season 14?
I was at my office today. It was one of those moments. I remember where I was when Michael Jackson died, and I will always remember where I was when Vicki Gunvalson's housewife career died. And I was at the office of my job, and my coworker and I were actually listening to the new remix of Unwritten. Natasha Bedingfield.
Yeah.
And I was scrolling through Twitter on my phone and saw it. They said Housewives of Orange County trailer, no Vicky. I didn't see anything. I just saw those words. I didn't see the video or anything. And I just paused everything because my coworker is also a Bravo lover, and I was like, it happened. Vicky's out, And then I went and watched and saw the 2 seconds that she was in the trailer,
We'll talk about it.
And then, yeah.
Well, I found out at work too. There's nobody that watches anything that I'm discussing as usual. So I actually got an Instagram DM, and the notification came up. Longtime listener of this show, Nicole Steffi, NS Nettles over at Instagram. I got a DM, just said, OMG, no Vicky. And I was like, no, is it official? Is it real? Is this really? Because we had heard things, right?
Yeah, there have been rumors, but then
long-time rumors.
But Andy recently also said you're going to see plenty of her. So I didn't know that could go one of two ways.
See how shady that is, though.
It is kind of shady, but I don't know. But even she too, she was out there saying, "I'm not going to be friend of." So I don't know if they told her maybe your role is a little more than a friend of, she's involved a little more than that, but. I mean, it is what it is.
I'm not okay with it. Let's take a look, because Vicky did release a statement. She said on Instagram today, "For the past 14 years, I've opened up my life, my loves, my ups and downs on The Real Housewives of Orange County, and I am proud to be the OG of the OC. I am back again this season, right in the middle of the action, and I hope you have as much fun watching the show as I did living in front of the cameras. Stay tuned to Bravo, August 6th. Well, she's definitely towing the company line.
Yes.
She's
playing nice right now.
Yep.
For sure.
I mean, she's probably known long before you and I've even heard the rumors that she was going to be left out. So she's probably had a moment to process it.
For sure.
We have not, and that's why we're here. There's a candle lit with Vicky's face on it.
I mean, I literally showed up with Vicky props. I'm in all black right now. I'm totally mourning. I'm wearing my V by Vicki Gunvalson perfume from the local TJ Maxx down the street. I mean, this really sent me today. Can I just say that?
Oh my God. Well, for me, I was definitely in denial that it was a possibility, because I was like, they wouldn't do it, because that to me, we'll get into it, but it's part of a larger conversation about what this means for the franchise itself.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about, we're going to get in deep. I like talking really in depth. What's things nobody really cares about.
For sure.
And that's what Grant's Rants is, I guess.
Can't wait.
Somehow. And, so I was kind of in denial about it. And it wasn't until today when I got that OMG Vicky message, and I knew what it meant.
Yeah.
So
heartbreaking.
I think this is going to be one of the biggest mistakes that they're going to have to backpedal on. Social media has really turned against this decision.
So, to my surprise, to be honest with you, because as a Vicky fan, like, I am used to like defending, like, and I am one of those Vicky fans. I'm not going to be out here and say that everything she does is right. I'll be the first person to be like, probably shouldn't have said that. Probably shouldn't have, told that little tidbit of information that you knew,
Yeah.
But at the same time, I love her and I have respect for her as a cast member,
Mm-hmm.
But, I was really surprised to see that a lot of people were kind of echoing my sentiments today on social media. Like, even people that will be the first to tell you, like, I'm not a Vicky fan. I'm no fan of Vicky. Just felt like it was a step too far. It felt a little offensive, a little mean for people even that don't care about her in the way that maybe you and I do, So I think I personally was surprised to see the reaction on social media that it was.
I mean, I've said this on AfterBuzz for years. Lover or hater, you have to respect her place as the original on the show. I said at the top of this show, and that's where I'm coming from. I mean, I know this isn't a massive deal in the scope of the world, but I mean, we watch these shows and we've been invested. This woman's had 13 years of her life covered.
We have watched we've watched divorces, we've watched her children grow up, leave, marry, watch her children have children, watch her parents pass away. I mean, we've seen everything of this lady,
And it's like, what do they really want from her? You know what I mean? Like, they don't want manufactured and fake, but like,
what more could she have done?
Exactly.
Exactly.
So there are a few people, and I like to give both sides, that don't necessarily have the same viewpoint we have. And I put it out on Twitter, and anyone could let me know what they think. Michael tweeted me, and he said, she got the demotion she deserved to get the season after Cancer came out. I mean, I think he's blaming her.
How about the fact that we're not talking about the cancer thing anymore? Is that, you know what? Like, a lot's happened since that. Donald Trump has become president since then. We're not talking about that anymore.
This leads to my next question, though. Why now? Because in the year afterwards, or the 2 seasons afterwards, the whole cancer thing happened, Vicky really wasn't organically fit on that show with Friends. I mean, nobody wanted to be bothered with her. So why now when, things are normal?
Okay, so you want my honest opinion. Like, this is my totally honest opinion. I am so very hurt that they have put a little bit of space. Production has put a little bit of space between themselves and Vicky. But I do think that their long-term goal here is not to get rid of her completely. I don't think that. And I think that had they immediately the season after the whole Brooks thing came out, I think if they would have parted ways with her right then, it would have just been like too cutthroat, and I don't know that they could have brought her back from that. It would have sent too much of a message, kind of like when Phaedra did what she did. They were like, "No, you're out." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that they love Vicky. I think they know that there's that like kind of like heritage like factor there with her. Like, she's been there for so long, and there people have respect for her. So I think they kept her around to try and get people back on her side. And now I think they want to give people just a little bit of space from her. Everything's good in her life. Nothing's really gone bad. And then I think they're going to bring her back eventually.
From a story producer standpoint, I get it. And I say this all the time. And I say this about Erica Jane constantly. Like, you tell their story, there's nothing left.
Nothing left.
So I can understand with them, moving on from this from a production standpoint. But from a Bravo standpoint, it doesn't look good.
I agree.
She's like the first woman of Bravo, in my opinion.
This is my thing. Any other franchise, any other city, I don't want to say any other OG because, like, even if I'm not a fan of the OG, I have respect for the women that jumped on these franchises and really rode the train from the beginning, But it's almost like any other OG that you could have done that with, And I've said too, like,
I agree.
It doesn't. If she's filming. She's filming. You're out here giving her the permission to say that she is actively involved in all of the drama this season, but you won't just give her a tagline and give her those 6 seconds in the opening every.
Exactly.
That's really all it is, because she's going to have confessionals and stuff.
Yeah, and money. But I mean, again, an original like that, it's like having like an old hat on the board. You just kind of keep them around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And like I said, even if their plan behind the scenes was, look, we're not going to put Vicky in everyone's faces as much this season, she still could be in the opening credits. Give her a tagline just because of who she is.
Exactly.
It's not like she's going to be gone for 3 and 4 episodes at a time. I don't see that happening. You know what I mean? I think she's going to be at least every other episode, if not more. So I don't know why they couldn't have just done that to not make it such a big deal.
Especially in a season when she's getting engaged. I mean, it seems like, what are you going to do? She's had seasons where she's done nothing.
Yes, but can I tell you, too, I think that maybe that is what production kind of used to persuade her. I think that they were like, look, you've been here for 13 years. The absolute worst moments of your life you have lived out on camera, and for once in your life, things are finally good. So, like, come in when we need you and chill. You know, we have nothing.
Maybe it works.
Yeah. You're part-time. We're going to highlight the good. There's no time. You know what I'm saying? So I think maybe to me, that's the only way that they could have convinced her to come back in the capacity that she's coming back.
Because I don't think she probably received the news very well.
No, me either. So I think they really had to coax her and say, you know, you're in a good place. Enjoy your time with Steve. We're going to highlight as much of that as we can. And then apparently it's her and Kelly Dodd really going at each other this year. So I think that she'll step in whenever they need her there.
Yeah. One other tweet, You Mystify Me, says, not disrespectful at all. This woman has said and done terrible things above and beyond insults. The in-lie poor decision about it, meaning the only poor decision about it, is that these shows are based on drama, and Vicky certainly brought that. Oh God, Twitter. Why am I reading these tweets? This person is right. She does bring the drama. That's my thing, is like people always say that even if she doesn't have a storyline, she will be the first person to walk into a restaurant and put somebody in their place. She pushes the storyline along. She does what she needs to do. You know what I mean? Like she works all day at Kodo and then she goes and films at night, and she has no problem getting there, getting that scene done and going home really quick. So I don't know why. Also, and for them to say that she's done horrible things, like who on OC, especially OC, Tamra, hasn't done horrible things to other people? You know what I mean? Yeah, and how do we feel now about Tamra being the longest running housewife on The Real Housewives of OC?
So whenever I got here and you told me that I was a Vicky stan and I said that's the nicest thing you could ever say to me, you talking about Tamra being the longest running, that's now the meanest thing you could ever say to me.
Not a fan, huh?
I mean, look, I appreciate what Tamra's done for the franchise for sure, but I am not, like, Tamra's just not even, like, in my top 5, top 10. I can find her entertaining, but for me, she ain't it.
Oh, see, I think she could go head to head an all-star.
For sure.
You know, I enjoy her.
But
even my sister said, damn, like, this isn't going to help the ego of that one now being the last woman standing.
I think that, I'm glad you said that. I think that's what it is deep inside me that really, really hurts, you know? So it's like, I have to just tell myself,
I agree with that.
She'll never be an OG, you know?
Never.
Vicky walked so she could run. And that's all there is to it.
Paving the way.
So she could run away from what was his face? Simon.
Yeah. Well, when we come back, I want to talk about what this means for the franchise in general. I mean, this is really like the first of its kind, and those of us who have followed these shows from the beginning, it's an interesting place. What does this mean? And then we're going to take a look back at some of Vicky's greatest moments over 13 years on the show.
13 iconic years on the show.
That and more in a moment. Now this.
You're listening to Grant's Rants. Subscribe and spread the word. There are a lot more rants to come. Listen anytime on all major podcasting platforms. And now, back to the show.
And we're back with Christian Snow, and the candle is blowing in the wind here, much like a vigil. And we're looking at a picture of Vicky, one of my favorites, because she's completely unrecognizable.
We definitely need to give the people a visual here.
Yeah. If you're on the Twitter and you're on the Facebook, I'll promote it with this picture because it's serious. But no, it's what, season 12, season 13?
I think that was season 13.
Okay, yeah, a completely new face. She went from more of a round shape.
Listen. She had a little bit of extra puffiness from her filler and stuff, and it lasted a little bit longer than she anticipated. She wanted to look nice and fresh for her promo shoot, and it just, it didn't go well.
Well, like I said, there's somebody new to the cast.
Bless her heart.
Yes. Well, Real Housewives of Orange County, it moves on, and it's going to be returning August 6th. And what does this mean for Housewives now that these OGs can just be, thrown out? And why wasn't this done with Vanderpump? Different show.
Look, I have been through enough emotional turmoil today. I cannot even open up that door right now. So we're just going to slam that shut really quick.
Yep.
I mean, I do think It's a shift in Housewives, really, as we know it, in my opinion. You know, I mean, it's always rumored, though, that Vicki might come back as friend of. But then again, that's a thing every season. Like, right now, there were rumors that Ramona was on the chopping block. You know what I'm saying? Which is not true, obviously.
Yeah.
But I do think that maybe they are using her as an example to send a message to people like other OGs who think that they can, like, you know, do things like physically assault crew members and things like that and just come back to work as if nothing ever happened. Nene. But maybe they are using her as an example. I mean, to be like, look, like, we love y'all and like we're riding you guys have built this with us as much as we've built it with you. But at the end of the day, everyone is, I hate to say it, everyone is replaceable.
Yeah.
I hate to say it,
but I have said this for years about these OGs and the older housewives holding these shows hostage. I mean, that's what's completely paralyzed Beverly Hills, in my opinion.
100%.
And, how can I say that and then be super upset that Vicki's gone? Because, but I don't believe, though, that Vicki held the show hostage.
Not at all.
So I can say that confidently.
I think that Vicki always did what Vicki had to do. Vicki was, she did. She would throw herself in any drama. She would go ballistic in the middle of any public play. Like, it didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, she did what she needed to do. Versus, we're talking about OGs in another city where they don't own up to anything. They don't want to forward the conversation. They don't want to have any conversation whatsoever. So these situations remain stagnant and they don't progress whatsoever. And I think that really is what has held Beverly Hills up big time. Big time. People don't want to take accountability for anything.
One thing I will say is OC Housewives, a little light on the drama, some could say. It's one of the less, I don't know, it's a tamer franchise, I guess. Could you say it's a little slower?
In recent years, for sure. Now, there definitely were times, I mean, you got to think back to like Gina Keogh, Gretchen.
Oh, yeah, of course.
What is it? Hold Your Daddy's Girl, Here Comes Gretchen. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just vicious stuff.
Well, that's what sucked me in. Absolutely.
Did you go to Bass Lake?
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, let's take me back. But, now I feel like there are a lot of viewers that hang on out of loyalty to Orange County. There's so many cities now and so much reality TV and ensemble shows, especially on Bravo. I mean, it's ridiculous.
For sure, yeah.
So I think a lot of people hold on to OC out of that loyalty that it is an original and Vicki is there and it's a constant. So to me, it's a little bit of a slap in the face.
Oh, it's beyond.
As a viewer.
Yeah, no, I agree too. Like, and again, this goes back to a lot of the things that I was seeing on social media today. And people like friends I have that watch the show, the people that everybody who watches these shows, you have friends that you talk about it with and stuff, and the amount of people like that I talked to today who were like, look, like, now that it actually happened, I'm kind of like, what the hell? Like, I think a lot of people were kind of in favor just because everyone knew there needed to be a major shift or a change. And now that they've announced this change, people are like, I don't think that was the change we were looking for, But look, that's kind of what TV is, though. You got to test things and see what works.
It's like, if they say they're modern day soap operas, I mean, there's really no one original left in any of the soaps.
Yeah.
I mean, the shows continue, people pass away, and people leave, and they retire.
Somehow,
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I guess. Radar Online says, so I'm saying this because it's like this is probably the opposite of what it is, but they're saying that she was demoted before they even hired the new housewife. So
I can believe that.
Yeah,
I don't necessarily think it was
true.
Maybe the pen wasn't to paper, but I think that they always enter the season with a plan.
They say, it's other fans too. I saw on Twitter, it's karma for her saying that Kelly was on coke.
That's like literally on the tamer of insults that these women have.
And it's not the first time that has been made.
If that's the only thing someone said about me on one of these shows, I'd be like, honestly, thanks. Like, you could have really gone a lot worse. I mean,
wasn't Lisa Rinna celebrated for asking Dorit if people were doing coke in her bathroom?
Isn't it literally a bathroom decoration that you can buy on Etsy.com as we speak? For like $19.99.
This is what I mean. Like, everyone thinks they know.
The double standard, people.
Right. I do think it's really damaging to the franchise in and of itself. It's just not a good look. It now makes it look like this whole process of being a friend of and all this. It's when too many people, in my point of view, have their hand in the pot. And too many people it's now become such a big business that they're determining who's friends with who and who's worthy of holding a fruit in the beginning. I mean, it's so micromanaged. That's what it seems like to me from an outside.
It's not that minute of an, you know what I'm saying?
No, it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be. And that's kind of goes back to the thing where it's like, okay, so you have someone filming with you for 6 months, someone that is actively involved in the main drama storyline, and then on top of that has been on the show for 13 years, and you can't give her a 5.5 second tagline in the beginning.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Okay.
And that is going, I'm talking from experience here. I have to take network notes in my job, and it's not easy to see the micromanagement going on. And then that's how things like this, like head scratching decisions get made. So, I'm not in love with this decision. I mean, it's a
bunch of white men in collared shirts sitting around a boardroom table thinking that they know what these internet teens and what viewers want, and then they just are wrong.
I think it's a mistake from the beginning, and then in season 15, season 15, it'll be corrected, but it's like you gotta fall on your face like they did with New York Housewives to figure out what you had, and that's what I think is happening.
It's true.
Who knows? Anyway, really quickly, I want to get your thoughts on this trailer, Real Housewives of Orange County. What do you think?
Can I be totally honest?
Only honest.
I watched it once, and I was completely numb after... Because I watched it as soon as I found out.
Same.
I don't know what I saw.
Okay. What? Blackout.
Yeah. And I don't know when I'll go back and watch again.
Well, I'll watch it. I even forgot her name.
I feel bad that I can't even, talk to you about
it's
it,
okay.
But...
I even forgot her name. Emily, the new one. I had to think a minute.
I like Emily.
But, you gotta be kidding me, though. Emily is gonna bring more to the table than Vicky.
Emily's gonna bring more than Gina.
Well, it seems like Gina has a lot going on with these arrests and the husband.
I sure hope that we can film in the courtroom, because it looks like that's where she spent most of her season.
Well, that's true.
I hope they got that filming permit in there.
Andy Cohen says this season has all the hallmarks of Orange County: humor, serious, personal drama, funny moments, great bonding, and great strife. I mean, I don't know if I can take all this at face value anymore. We've been told every season is great and wonderful.
Every single season. And I love Andy, and I respect Andy.
But
right now, I'm like, you
him.
can't use these words to describe an upcoming season when you've used those same words to describe seasons that had, Kelly and Shannon going at each other, and, Vicky almost dying in, that sand place, on the, dune buggy thing that they were on,
Glamis.
Yeah, so he's using these same words to describe this season, but it's like you just kicked a main player to the curb, kind of, So it's to me, I think that probably was a poor choice of words. I would have branded it as look, it's a turn for the Housewives as we know it, but we're taking Vicky with us. I
think that's a great line.
It's a great thing. We're turning it. Look, we're going to take this a new direction, but we're never going to do anything without letting Vicky ride the wave with us. So
perfect, and that keeps everybody happy.
Yeah,
even the people who don't like her, they're like, great. There's a new start.
Think that they could have put a spin, as far as PR goes, they could have put a spin on it and said honestly, Vicky's just so happy right now. We're too scared that she'll blame us for ruining it or something you know what I'm saying? Something funny like that.
It is weird that really there's been no statement other than Vicky on Instagram.
And I felt like her statement was not that genuine. I think she's hurting. I think she's sad.
It was certainly, there was no real opinion in there other than that she was excited for the season, but there was nothing this is something, that blah, blah, blah. What? You know
what I just thought about?
What?
If they make her walk onto that reunion stage as a guest, introduce her after the commercial break.
For an episode for 40 minutes.
I honestly think I just threw up in my mouth.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, that thought just hit me like a ton of bricks.
That's a reality, yeah. I mean, it is. Look at someone like Barbara on New York.
Not confessionals in every episode.
That's what I mean.
This is our reality. This is our reality now.
Yep. Well, let's take a look at some Vicky moments before we go. Again, we're talking about someone with a 13-year career on the show.
13 years is a long time in TV.
Yeah. Oh, it is.
I'm just saying.
More than most.
It's a lifetime.
So let's take a look. Christian is going to start. We're going to be reading some lines from the OG of the OC. Begin.
You have a little family van. When do you bring a family van to pick up 6 people?
Why does she have 2 or 3 nannies? Raise your kids. You don't work.
Talk to me in 5 years when you're divorced. Remember that time she was a psychic?
I know. That's timely.
Iconic.
I have never been with multiple partners in my life.
They don't work. They don't go to work. I don't see anybody going to work. I was done. I just want it out. I'm out of here. Done. Get the limo.
You're not a mother. You have no idea what it's like.
You bring it up again, I'm going ballistic.
It's a good one.
It really is.
I'm being nailed to the cross like Jesus was, and he didn't do anything wrong.
You have to go, woohoo! You have to go, whoop it up. If you can do both of those, you're in.
That was to Kelly. She said she has, like, whoop it up radar, and Kelly has it.
Let's look back on nicer times.
Yeah.
Things are not so
yeah, for real. I'm the OG of the OC. Everyone else is just a copy.
Truly iconic. You know what? Can I say a different one than the one we have written down right now?
Of course.
Just because we're going out right now, and Vicky, if you're listening to this, because God knows you are, right?
You better be listening to the rants.
She better be listening. I just want to say, you know what? Despite all the hate that has been sent Vicki Gunvalson's way over the last 14 years, you can say what you want to say about her, but she is a reality television pioneer. Bottom line, she is iconic, and she has given us so much. So in honor of Vicki being actually in a good place in her life right now, actually being in a good place, I would like to recite her former tagline where she thought she was in a good place, but she was wrong. So now we're going to recite it because she's in a good place and she's going to go live her life. My love tank is full, and I'm driving into my future.
Yes.
Give me an orange. But, you know, I do think her love tank is finally full. I think she's finally gotten everything that she wants, minus a full-time role on Housewives.
You can't have it all, I guess.
You can't have it all, but on a serious note, you know, she is a funny lady. We don't have to agree with her all the time, but she's opened up her life to us. She's let us point at her and laugh for 14 years, and for that, we owe her a lot. So thank you, Vicki, and bravo. Get your stuff together. Love you, though.
I want to get all of your thoughts and opinions on this. Whether you love her or hate her, I'm open to any take you have. So let us know. Tweet us, myself, Christian, your handle?
My handle on Twitter is _Christian Snow, and then on Instagram, I am Christian Gray Snow.
There you go. So we want to hear from you because this is a polarizing topic.
It really, really is. And just be nice, please.
Yeah, really. I mean, we're talking about Housewives, kids. It's not that serious. And I don't think Vicki's going to be in the unemployment lines because she's working.
Yes, she is.
And one last thing. If anyone can identify for me the scene where she is, I believe, in a limo and she's talking about Jim Bellino and she's saying, this is my favorite line ever. Does he work? What does he do? Does he work? Does he work? What does he do? Does he work? I need to know where that is because that is one of my favorite Vicki moments.
Iconic. Also, isn't that the one she called a smelly dork?
I think so.
If not, I hope it was.
Vicki, we'll see you and the other OC ladies August 6th on Bravo. My thanks to Christian.
Thank you so much for having me. Love coming to chat with you always.
The candle will be burning through the evening. And as always, we'll be back with more rants.
Bye, everybody.
This has been Grant's Rants Small Talk. Want more? Join the full conversation on Grant's Rants Hollywood Talk podcast on Apple Podcasts. The Grant Michael Collection.